Hi, my name is Aksha, and today I'm going to show you how to set up and use custom analyzer that comes with Elasticsearch and MDM. So I'm going to discuss about what is custom analyzer, what are the types, some examples, and then one use case or a scenario where I've set it up, and I'll show you how it works and how to validate and test if it's working or not. So prerequisites, right? You need to have MDM 10.4 and above. 10.4 GA is also fine, but it has to be 10.4 and above. Elasticsearch should be installed and configured. We support 623, 6.822, and 6.823 currently. So any of those versions should be good. And obviously Smart Search should be enabled. So before I show you an example, let's talk about what is an analyzer and what are the types. Analysis is the process of converting text, like the body of an email, into tokens or terms, which are then added to the index for searching, which is an inverted index, obviously. And analysis is the process that is performed by the analyzer, which can either be a built-in analyzer or a custom analyzer. So if you already worked with Elastic or been using Elastic, you might have come across a few built-in analyzers with MDM. You might recognize text underscore general or text underscore fuzzy. So those are the built-in analyzers. And today I'm going to show you how to create your own custom analyzer, right? So let's take this word, right? Or text. The quick brown fox has jumped over lazy dog. A simple standard analyzer will do the following. It will convert every letter to lowercase, remove the frequent words like the and exclamation, and then reduce the terms of the words to this word stems, like foxes become fox, jump becomes jump, and in the end only the following terms will be added to the index, which is quick brown fox jump over lazy dog, right? This is because there's a stop word which will be ignored. Quick is converted lowercase, brown also, hyphenated is removed, fox will become fox, jump becomes jump, over is over, the is removed, lazy is lazy, and dog is dog, exclamation is removed. So this is a simple example of what an analyzer does and how words or tokens are stored in the index in Elastic. So then what are the different types and the structure, right? So an analyzer, whether it's a built-in or a custom, is a package that contains three lower level building blocks: the character filter, the tokenizer, and the token filter. The tokenizer is a mandatory and a must be given as part of an analyzer, but the character filter and token filter are optional and can vary based on the use case that you want to set up, right? What is a tokenizer? A tokenizer will take a stream of characters, break it up into individual tokens or words, and then um, and outputs a stream of the tokens, right? So, for example, what a white space tokenizer does is it breaks the text into tokens, and whenever it sees any white space, and removes those white spaces, right? So, for example, if you take the text for space instance, it will break it whenever it sees white space. So it will break it into two tokens for an instance, right? That's it. And F will be still capital because we've only said white space. So F, the capital F will still be capital F. A character filter will perform actions on the stream of characters, right? So it'll either change or add or remove some characters. For example, it will convert, a character filter could be used to convert Hindu Arabic numerals into the Arabic Latin equivalents, right? And a token filter will take the token stream and then add, remove, or change the tokens completely. So, for example, a lowercase token filter or it will change it to lowercase. A delete token will remove any stop words, or add tokens can be done in case of synonym file, right? So here I've listed some of the common analyzer types. All these are from the Elasticsearch document. So this is not something that MDM has come up with or Informatica. It's all available in the Elasticsearch documentation. So I've just taken it here and listed it here. In the end of the PPT or my presentation, I have listed the references. So please feel free to go to those links and have a deeper understanding of each of these analyzers and token filters and tokenizers. So we have like standard analyzer, which we commonly use, which is a combination of standard token filter, lowercase token filter, and stop token filter, right? And simple analyzer is mostly just lowercase. White space removes white space but does not do the lowercase conversion. Stop analyzer only supports removal of anything in the stop words text file. Keyword again is like it's a no op or a no operation analyzer. It takes the text as it is and then gives the output as a single term, right? And pattern analyzer based on regular expression. So these are the common analyzer types. Similarly, you have tokenizer types like standard, letter, lowercase, white space. UX URL is like it'll recognize the URLs and the email addresses as a single token. And then there's classic for grammar and Thai also, and there are other tokenizers too. Then there's token filters, which are ASCII, lowercase, stop token filter, and then there's character filters like mapping character and then HTML strip, right? This one, anything with HTML elements like body, head will be replaced and decoded. So like the ampersand AMP will be replaced with ampersand, things like that. Pattern character replace again to do with regular expression. So let me show you the setup I've done and the example I've taken. So in my case, what I've done is I have created in party a column called SSN, right? SSN is nothing but the unique identifying number of a person or individual in the US. It stands for Social Security number. It uniquely identifies a person, right? So what I have done is in most organizations, SSN is something that shouldn't be shared or it's a PII. So if it is present in the database, it will be stored in an encoded format. But then what if a developer wants to search by a person's SSN because it's a unique identifying object, but they do not know how an encoding or how the encoding works to actually look up by the encoding, but they only know the person's SSN, say for example, right? So how does indexing work in this case is the sample. So I've used a cleanse function called SSN test where it mimics an encoding, a sample encoding I've done. It just adds a couple of letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, to the front and back. So if I put this as an SSN and test it, it will be encoded something in this format. And this is what will exist in the database, right? Just to mimic a very low level encoding, but this is not an actual scenario. It's more complex. No one knows the encoding in a real life use case, right? So this is my setup on the Hub console. And then once I go to my provisioning tool, I'll show you what. So if you go to the Elasticsearch, this is my Elasticsearch setup. And I have one ES node, and in the index settings is where all these would be generated, right? So this is my analyzer, and these are all out of the box. And if you look at this, my analyzer, that's the one that I have created. So all you have to do is go to analyzer, you click on the create button, and then you'll get this option. As I said, tokenizer is a mandatory field, so you have to give this. Token filters and character filters are option, but in my case, I needed them, so I'll tell you why I need these two. So I've added a custom token filter called my token filter, so I've chosen that. From the drop down, you choose whatever token filter you want, right? And I click apply, you will get it. And character filter, I've created a character filter. So I'll show you what this is. So this is token filter. Go to token filter and my token filter. I have created this, the same thing. You go to token filter, you say create, you'll get the option. And here I've added the type stop, ignore case true, and stop word path. So stop word path is basically my file where custom stop.txt. So I'm telling my analyzer that I don't want these SSN numbers to be indexed, right? So I'm saying stop from indexing these numbers, and no one really has these SSN numbers, right? So this is repetitive and I don't want this indexed. That's my token filter. And if you go to character, if you go to this, I have a character filter too. So go to character filters, and my character filter, I have this where it's of type pattern replace, and whenever it finds a digit, it will be replaced with space, right? I'll show you why this is needed. So then this is my index setting, and if you go to modeling, the main and important part is you need to map the index, the column with the analyzer. So I have a person, and in person I have this field SSN, and here I have currently set it to search analyzer text general. I'll show you an example of how it will look with this uh, built-in text general versus my custom. So right now it's text general, and what is text general defined as is here. Text general is a combination of these token filters, which is standard, ASCII, lowercase, synonym, and English. So there's nothing related to character replacing digits, or nothing related to the stop words file, right? This is the standard out of the box one, just converts lowercase, synonyms, and English stop. So I should expect that. So I'll show you what will happen. So right now I have it as text general, and so if I go to queries, right, and I have a record, right, ES, and here the SSN is encoded currently, right, and I search for this encoded SSN here, you will get the result because this is encoded as is. But then this is not a real life example, right? Because in a real world situation, a developer will never know how the encoding is present. So there's no way he can like find out what the encoding is for the SSN and then try to search it. So this is really not ideal situation. So what would be ideal is to search by the actual SSN number, right? So if I search by the actual SSN number, which is this, I so now if you search with the actual SSN, it will not return any results because it has not been indexed with the text general, right? So if you see the index, it has person and organization, right? So now to show you how it works with the custom analyzer, I'm gonna go and change this to my analyzer. As soon as I hit apply and publish, you will notice that if you make the same call again, the indexes will now be 0. This is because I've changed the settings for Elasticsearch and provisioning tool, and this is expected that Elasticsearch will remove any index documents, and the count is now 0. Here it was earlier 642 and 1230. So it'll drop the indexes. You'll see this in the logs as well. And how do we get it back? All you have to do is go to the pad job and run this initial index job again. So once this is run, 7:45, right? Again, if you give it a few seconds, and if you then see this, yeah, give it some, or we can try to kickstart it again. It has indexed, right? 1872. Let's see, it's 1872. So if you go back and now run the command, yeah, so there you go. So for person and organization, which belong to a party, which is what I've run this index on, it would have created so many documents, right? So this is re-indexed it. This is one way to know if it's going to work or not, right? So now going back to the BDD, if I search by the same number, it should show up, right? So this is what, because I've used the character filter that removes any letters, it has removed those and it has indexed it, right? And also this is my encoding, but and then also if I look for this now, encoding as well, which I've not done anything on, it should still work because my analyzer doesn't stop this from being indexed as well. So it'll index both the actual SSN and the encoded one. So this is a simple working of an example of how SSN can be used, right? And so the same thing, I've given you screenshots of what I've done. So provisioning, I created a character filter, token filter, and then I've created an analyzer with my token filter and character filter. Okay, so now let's go to troubleshooting, right? So the first one is I want to find out about this is let's make a get call. I'm going to show you how to use curl. So you need to first create the certificates that you need, the P12 certificates needed. So this TKS and file cert.pem. Once you have that, you'll be obviously able to make these curl commands, right? This can be done on Postman too, but I just want to show you the longer and the harder way of doing curl. So then, so for this command, all you have to do is take the index of that person and then put underscore pretty, right? So in my case, this will be right. So I have taken the same index, which is this, and then I've added person mappings pretty. What this will show is for every column or every field for the person BE, what is the associated analyzer. So for example, I have a child called address, addresses one to many, and then that one to many is address. And in that address line 1 is of analyzer type text general, right? So this is how you read it. So if you have address line 2, what is a text general? So we've added SSN. So let's go look at the field SSN. This is still address, and this is address type. BOID is the row ID object, which won't be indexed. So I haven't. So that's why you see index is false. Last update date index false. URL is false. This is email child. Yeah, and there you have SSN. SSN is of type text and the analyzer is my analyzer. So this document should be created properly first for you to even know what is working or not, right? So this is correct and so it will work. And the second call you can make is settings pretty. So what settings pretty does is here it will show you for the person BE for which you're making a call, what are the analyzers and the full list of tokenizers we have. So we have phonetic, we have synonym, we have Japanese, and then I've created a my for the this is filter, right? So I've created my token filter, and this is the same text that I've given on the provisioning tool. And then for character filter, I have my character filter, which is the same text. And then in analyzer, I have my analyzer, which is of type standard, and then there's a filter and a character filter, right? So all this should be present in settings. So these are one of the two calls that you can make to see whether your Elasticsearch is set up correct or not, right? So this is a Postman sample, but this is the curl sample, right? And here are the reference links. So all as to all the analyzer types that we discussed. So I took it from this link and I'll add it in the description as well. So you can just check these links out for more understanding of these analyzers, filters, and tokenizers. Thank you so much for your time and we'd love to hear from you. So if you have any feedback on this video, please feel free to reach out to the links shown on the website. Thank you and have a nice day.